Welcome into this presentation of college baseball on the ACC Network Extra, a big rivalry game here on the campus of the University of North Carolina, as it's the Wolfpack of NC State at the Tar Heels of UNC. I'm Darren Vaught. The former big leaguer Paul Shuey is with me. Who says baseball players aren't athletes?
No, that was pretty impressive. A couple flips right off the bat. Those guys are ready to go.
Paul, this is always a big rivalry game when NC State and UNC face off. But for the Tar Heels, they're going to have to overlook a 1-8 conference record so far for the Wolfpack because it's a little bit misleading. This league is as good as it's been in a long time. It
really is. There's no slouches, across the board. And honestly, 1-8, those guys are coming in hungry. And North Carolina's been playing well, but they got their work cut out for them.
They certainly do. And this series in particular has always been tight over the years. NC State, the last time these two teams got to meet up in 2019, got the best of North Carolina, but the Tar Heels lead the series just by oh-so-close margins, 52-49 all time.
Yeah, it's always a tight series with these guys, and both coaches, know each other really well, and you saw them grinning at the start, but they're going to be enemies here in a second.
It's been a bit of a rivalry week for the Tar Heels. On Tuesday, they faced off against a top 10 ranked East Carolina non-conference opponent, and Scott Forbes told you and I, Paul, that they did a really good job of putting the ball in play, giving themselves opportunities, and they got a big win against number 8 ECU, 8-1.
Yeah, and I think one of the biggest pieces came out of that game was Will Sandy coming back, pitching well for him. He's a good left-handed pitcher that they're going to need down the stretch.
A couple of Oppo tacos there. Tomas Frick with the second of the two. So as we get things started, Austin Love on the bump for the Tar Heels, and he's been great so far this season through 5 starts, 4-0 record. He's been the ace of this staff.
Yeah, Austin has been basically, last year he was the workhorse from the bullpen, and this year he's been the workhorse as a starter.
Whip comfortably under 1. You love to see that as a number out of your Friday starter for sure.
Well, the numbers jump out at you. Usually when I take a look at them, the first thing I look at, you look at your innings pitched, strikeouts, and the walks. And he's only got 8 walks and 32 innings pitched.
How about
high
that?
Fastball.
Getting ahead of batters like Austin Murr, very productive hitters in the NC State lineup, and starting things off with a 3-pitch strikeout.
Well, he's got that high fastball, but when he's in the zone, his fastball jumps on you, and then he's got such a devastating changeup. I think his changeup's, arguably his best pitch after his fastball. And then one of the things that I'm interested in will be to see how his breaking balls have developed. He's got a big breaking ball, and he's got more of a slider. And as a starter, he's probably getting more reps.
Up in the zone, McDonough takes it deep, and Tyler McDonough with a solo shot to get things started for NC State in the top of the first inning.
And you got to believe, as much as NC State has struggled this year, they needed something like that, especially against Austin Love. If he came out and went 1, 2, 3 and basically kept NC State down. College baseball is always funny how it just lights up. A lot of energy.
Well, Tyler McDonough with his 3rd home run of the season, his 2nd of those 3 in the first inning, and this thing was an absolute blast.
Yeah, he stood and watched it for a second, which, sometimes that gets a little dicey.
Especially in a rivalry game like this one.
I think it's a good statement. You can kind of see what's going on. He's trying to get his team fired up, and he squared that one up.
It's just the 2nd round tripper Austin Love has given up this season.
But you see, he's throwing a lot of fastballs. He's still trying to get ahead. And you got to remember, he didn't walk somebody and then give up a home run. He gave up the home run on a fastball, attacking. And that's key. Those 1 runs don't really get you like a crooked number.
Luka Tresh at the dish right now for NC State. Team lead with 7 home runs, but typically that's been his problem. 4 of those 7 solo shots. The Wolfpack struggles to get runners on for him. Although if it's in the event of the guy before him hits a home run, you're okay with it.
Right.
Just off the mark with the 2-2, so a full count.
Well, and Love's been 92 to 96 already You know, he's fired up.
Swung on, Tresh puts it high in the air, and it's over toward first base in foul ground.
It's a nice play right there. Knew where the wall was, so he didn't. Took his time, made a good catch.
Brett Centracchio, reliable first baseman. That's something else that Scott Forbes told us about his first season at the helm of this North Carolina squad. He wanted to shore up things defensively. Not that they hadn't been in the past necessarily, but that was a priority to him in sort of making his mark as a new head coach.
Well, it's kind of funny. Sometimes there's a little give and take, and when Sabato was over at first base, there was a lot of give in the offensive category, and there was a little bit of take in the other.
Absolutely. I mean, you get with Aaron Sabato, who now, of course, is in the Twins organization, was the 27th overall pick. I mean, you know, you had big league type power anytime he stepped up to the plate, and you know, might have sacrificed a little bit of defense as Coach Forbes has implied. But with Centracchio, he says, you know, even if he struggles at the plate, there's a reason we're keeping him over there.
Right. Austin Love has been just pounding the zone with fastballs.
It swung on and fouled out of play. Johnny Butler can't quite catch up to it. Austin Murr, who led off, and Johnny Butler here both missed some time in the Louisville series for NC State. That was a Louisville sweep. But as we mentioned, this is as full as the Wolfpack's lineup has been. Ripped shot over to second base and snagged for the third out. But Tyler McDonough, the preseason All-American, gets things started for NC State. A no-doubter of a solo shot in the top of the first, and the Tar Heels at the plate on the other side. ACC Network Extra. North Carolina heads to the plate, down a run after a Tyler McDonough solo shot.
Yeah, he got all that, and Austin Love came out throwing strikes, went right after him. I mean, certainly didn't seem to take very long.
Here's Reed Johnston getting his first start of the season. He has held many roles in this pitching staff for Elliott Avent and NC State. So far this season, very reliable out of the bullpen, as you see based on his numbers, has had some longer appearances out of the bullpen, so he's certainly capable.
Well, I think one of the interesting things about this whole matchup is the fact that Austin Love was a reliever that's starting now, and Reed Johnston was basically a Friday night starter that is now relieving. I think it's kind of the need base for the team, and he has stepped in and done a nice job, and he's coming out tonight, and we're going to see how it goes.
He'll face this North Carolina lineup beginning with Angel Zarate, who has quite the streak going. 39 consecutive games in which he has reached base. He's just a couple off of a North Carolina record. And then Justice Thompson, arguably their best hitter to this point in the season, and Caleb Roberts, who's been a mainstay for the past few years.
Well, and Reed is pretty deceptive. So he's got a fastball that a lot of guys, you'd think they get better looks at it.
How about this? Zarate goes deep out into center field, but McDonough runs it down. That's the deepest part of the ballpark. Really tough to get it out over there, but a well-hit ball.
Yeah, McDonough's got to be feeling good. It hits a home run and then gets a nice put out in center field to kind of get things going. He did the flip too, right?
Yeah, he was one of the two in the open. He and Devontae Brown were doing the tumbling gymnastics style.
Yeah.
Justice Thompson watches the first pitch from Reed Johnston, and Thompson has really been special to this point. Out of Northwest Florida, another JUCO transfer. North Carolina has utilized those types of players often in recent years. Dylan Harris just recently exiting after last season, signing a free agent deal with the Baltimore Orioles.
Yeah, I think it's a credit to Coach Forbes, really. He's done a lot of the recruiting for them, and has a good feel for the needs of the team and seems to be able to put key guys in there to fill the holes. I joked with you earlier and asked if Justice was, if they had required that he would be the top of all the offensive categories.
He leads the Tar Heels in just about everything you can lead a team in offensively.
He is all over the plate, right up, tight to it, big, long levers.
Here's the 2-2, and fouled away. Thompson will see another. Maybe the closest thing to a conventional 5-tool player that North Carolina has had in quite some time. Coach Phillips told us if he gets on base, he's got the green light. 10 stolen bases so far on the year, and there's a laced shot out into center to get things going for the Tar Heels with a single.
Yeah, nice piece of hitting right there. Decent pitch on the outside corner, but able to stay on it. Talked earlier about how tight he was to home plate. Well, that ball is not as far away as it would be if you had a normal stance.
So here's a look at the defensive alignment for NC State. I mean, up the middle is where you're strongest, or you want to be strongest. Tyler McDonough, preseason All-American in center field. JT Jarrett, experienced, reliable guy at second base for Elliott Avent. And Jose Torres, one of the top shortstop prospects in the country. And that's got a lot to do with his defensive prowess. He's very good on this side of the ball. You see there the shift against Caleb Roberts. He's really changed his hitting approach. He's come on strong, is more of a power hitter this season.
Yeah, we had taken a look. I guess he worked with Jesse Wiersbicky to get a little bit different stroke. We had talked about he had so many swings where we watched him really clobber a ball, and it just wasn't carrying. And I think he decided to get a little bigger, stronger, maybe change some of the dynamics of the swing a bit.
And see if outside the pitch out. Thompson takes off for second and is in there safely. Stolen base for Justice Thompson and a runner in scoring position.
Got a pretty good jump, not the best jump. He's so long and fast. You know, it's just like he's there. I'll tell you something else too. When you have a guy that can hit for power and is that fast, it's hard on the pitcher to deal with, because you're always worried if he's taken off.
Roberts fouls the 1-1 out of play. 2 strikes against him now. Team lead 5 home runs for Roberts.
I think that was that. I think that was Justice's 11th stolen base of the year.
I may have misspoke earlier. His 9th stolen base.
9th.
Well, on 11 attempts. So
I exaggerate a lot.
We round up here.
Yeah.
Sometimes. Only when it's convenient.
Well, maybe I thought he was going to take third. You know.
That's it. That's what it was.
And Reed has thrown some pretty good pitches already. You know, he's throwing his breaking ball and his fastball to the corners and for strikes.
And Paul, I'm going to double back and correct myself. Thompson's 11th stolen base, because he had a couple last weekend as that one runs up and in on Roberts and puts runners at first and second.
Yeah, that's a good fastball up and in, and Roberts really, you see him, he turns properly, keep your face away from the ball, but doesn't get out of the way. And Reed in a bit of a predicament right now, and NC State would tell you right now how important it is that they can come in and hold that lead for at least 1 inning.
Johnston's first pitch to Danny Soretti, lined out to the outfield. McDonough giving it chase. Instead, it's Johnny Butler's ball in left field. That was another well-hit ball.
Right to the gap. Right to the gap. Nice play.
So Soretti retired, that's not been the case for him as of late. He's been on quite the tear for the Tar Heels.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't put it any more in between the outfielders right there, but a good play by Butler to get over there and make the catch. And Reed 1 out away from getting out of a little different inning.
Tomas Frick watches it in the dirt. Talk about somebody that this coaching staff for North Carolina likes a lot. It's Frick, and you saw his power on display with the opposite field home run against ECU on Tuesday. It was a hard hit grounder, chopper over to Torres, and they get the force out at second to retire the side and get out unscathed. NC State ahead 1-0 through 1 here at the Bosch. A hit apiece for each NC State and North Carolina. In the case of the Wolfpack, it was a home run, so they lead it 1-0 on this beautiful day for baseball. Limited capacity crowd here at the Bosch. You'd love to start seeing more people at these games, Paul. I know we're business cash. We're in the studio for this one, but it makes it feel like we're there, right?
Yeah, just a little bit of normalcy that everybody's looking forward to.
The first of a 3-game set this weekend between these rival teams.
Well, and with that start, NC State being able to get that 0 posted up and be able to sit on that lead for a second against Carolina's ace, it's pretty big right now.
And considering Reed Johnston, the starter for NC State, not your usual Friday night guy so far this season. So to see him buoy some trouble along the base paths. Now Jose Torres, the batter, in the 5-hole for NC State. A little bloop single to lead things off.
Yeah, that looked like the shorter breaking ball, more of a slider. And it was going to be a strike, but right over the heart of the plate.
So look at the defensive alignment for UNC. Zarate, Thompson, Roberts along in the outfield. Clemente Inklin at third. Danny Soretti, shortstop. Castagnazzi at second base, and Centracchio, who we've mentioned at first. And of course, Frick behind the plate. As the bunt attempt goes foul for Terrell Tatum.
Yeah, went right to the drag bunt, tried to apply a little bit of pressure. Elliott always likes to do that when he can.
Trying to pull his swing back. And the call is that he went, so a quick 0-2 to Tatum.
Yeah, Coach Avent, I think if I had to describe him, aggressive. Usually if they can, they will apply as much pressure as they can.
Torres a good base runner at first. So some attention paid to him.
That was a really nice job right there. Using the time when you're out there on the mound. You hold, it's just so much for the base runner. It's very difficult to get a good jump when you're waiting. You know, you kind of get flat.
That one sails high of the zone, 93 miles per hour. Tatum lays off for a 1-2.
But after that high fastball, he set him up pretty well for a good changeup.
Fouled away by Tatum.
It looked like he just kind of hung that changeup up there. Isn't really feeling his off speed quite yet. His fastball has been off the hook from the beginning.
With 2 strikes, he'll wait. Centracchio thought he had a tag down in time.
That's exactly what we're talking about, because he did the long hold. He counted to about a 4-second hold. And look at this. This was quick, right? I think he got back in time, but that was the quick one.
Tatum a line shot. Out of the reach of Castagnazzi. And it's down for a single. So runners on first and second, and 2 really good base runners for NC State. So this is potentially trouble for Austin Love.
Well, and he just gave up a couple base hits. Looks like a breaking ball that's a strike, but yet again, right over the heart of the plate. And NC State capitalizing on it.
Had some top spin on it. Made it troublesome for an infielder.
Now you got to navigate some different at-bats. Nobody out, first and second.
Here's a guy, Devontae Brown, the batter for NC State, Paul, that we've talked about. NC State being at full strength with their bats as he lays down a bunt and fouls it away. I mean, before the halt in the season a year ago, Brown was in contention for ACC Player of the Year and was absolutely clobbering the baseball. It was something he had figured out the summer before. In 2019, he led his summer league in home runs, and something just started to seem to click, but he's had a strugglesome start to this season. So here an opportunity for him to do a job and move the runners. Almost got it down the line, but now 2 strikes against Brown.
The game is so much easier when you get a good start. No matter if you're pitching or hitting, but you get a couple base hits. Sometimes it doesn't have to be pretty. Hit it off the end, but it falls in, and you just feel good about yourself the next day. And if you have a bunch of line drives that go to people and you kind of get behind the 8 ball, it's tough. Tough to climb out. Baseball is a very difficult game on your head. It's a failure game.
It's a lot of failure. A lot of failure. Not dissimilar to, being in our shoes right now. Say the wrong number sometimes.
That's, as long as you make up for it, it's fine.
Love with the 1 and 2. And outside.
Seems to be fighting himself a little bit of overthrowing. We talked about how big the series is. There's a rivalry there. It's one of those things where if you can say, I beat NC State or I beat North Carolina, that's something you want to put on your hat.
Brown wanted that one, thought better of it in the very last second, though. That's a tough pitch to lay off, and it leads to a full count.
Yeah, and the tough part of that is it's a 2-2 count. You go with the breaking ball. So are you going to come back with a breaking ball? Probably not. So Brown is probably sitting on a good fastball right here.
Here's the 3-2. Up and in, ball 4. Great patience by Devontae Brown, and the bases loaded for NC State now with no one away.
No room for error. But for Austin Love, he knows he's got the lower part of the order. So if you make a couple good pitches, this is one you're still early in the ball game, so you really have to try to look for, can I get a ground ball? Maybe get a double play.
As you see in the bullpen, otherwise known as the trenches.
They have dubbed it the trenches.
The trenches. And got a sign. Paul, I thought that sign was just sort of colored on. You know what I mean? Like with a marker or something. That looks to be, like screen printed. That's high quality. I've really embraced this phenomenon, the trenches.
No, the one thing you could tell from talking with Coach Forbes and the staff a little bit is they're having a good time playing baseball right now. Nice loose group.
There's a Voitam in Sheik.
There's that changeup. I mean, you saw the action. I don't know how you lay off that. Pretty much taking first pitch. I mean, that started right down the middle and just dropped off. That's really the pitch that I expected him to throw a little bit earlier. But I don't think he had the feel for it yet.
Swung on by Minshik. That one deep back, and it will exit the yard. A grand slam for his first home run of the season, and Voita Minshik makes it 5-0 NC State.
Came right down the middle, and Minshik just clobbered it at the right time. NC State, what a huge beginning against Austin Love. He started him off with that nasty changeup and then came right down the middle with a fastball. And Minshik just jumped all over that, knew it as soon as he hit it. And that hits about halfway up the net.
That's 2 home runs for NC State, including Tyler McDonough's in the first inning. Each of them known to be home runs the second they left the bat for each of those guys. And you could see it with Minshik there.
Well, we talked about it. With NC State coming in, a 1-8 record, really struggling.
There's JT Jarrett, opposite field drive, but instead right into the glove of Caleb Roberts, and finally the first out for North Carolina.
And they were going to be hungry, and they came in, and they've gotten a couple balls to hit. And I don't think Austin's necessarily pitched that poorly. I think it's been his fastball. He's gotten a couple over the middle of the plate, hittable pitches.
Now back to Austin Murr, top of the order. First pitch swinging and a line drive single into center.
That's the other thing about college baseball. Once the hitting fever kind of starts, it can be very difficult to quell.
Well, I mean, you've said it. It's contagious. Good play. Right? All you need is a little bit of this. And NC State has been a very good offensive team. So I think the key to innings like this is going to be, can you hold the opposition from having an answer for it, which NC State has struggled with in series against the likes of Georgia Tech and Louisville. And Miami was their other ACC series. Runner takes off after the ball in the dirt. Seems like plenty of time to make his way to second, and Austin Murr dives in easy.
Yeah, the first pitch from Love to McDonough right there was really nice. Good breaking ball, maybe is one of the better pitches, because he's just got to get that off speed over for a strike, keep him a little off balance. In that first inning, he was able to get a couple swings on that high fastball, and he hasn't gotten it quite in that perfect zone, kind of at the top of the catcher's mask to get the good fish to bite.
Swung on by McDonough, top of the bat head, and it just dribbles through the infield. And Murr comes in to score. It's now 6-0 NC State.
And that looked like a pretty good changeup, just right off the end of the bat. Just finds its way right up the middle. Good piece of hitting.
That looked to me, Paul, like it was almost off the cup.
It was right off
of the bat.
Yeah, you're absolutely right off the cap.
Now in a 6-0 game, you got to face a guy with a runner on that's got 7 home runs this season. And this is what we had talked about. Tresh has cooled off since his hot start. He had all 7 of his home runs in their first 8 games of the season. Waves at the breaking ball. But if you can find a way to get him some protection, and now with a fully bolstered lineup, teams are less likely to be able to pitch around him.
Yeah, NC State's got more of their core unit back, and they're a potent offense.
That one was up just on top of the strike zone. Tresh sends it skyward. Soretti on top of the bag. Makes the grab, and that's out number 2.
That pitch is exactly what we're talking about. It's a fastball just high enough to, it's really hard as a hitter to get on top of it, but it's hard not to swing at it. It looks so good, but it jumped on you. Especially with Love's velocity.
Now here's Johnny Butler, 0 for 1 today. On base percentage, creeping up near 500 on the season. Just a good all-around hitter. Good eye. He's walked a handful of times. Good on the base paths. That's been productive in, maybe not as eye-popping of ways as a Luka Tresh over the past few years for Elliott Avent and company, but very, very reliable, very good ACC player.
Well, and those solid guys going through your lineup, and as you saw him in the outfield when he made that nice catch, it's just the consistency. When you know that's what you're coming up against, it makes it that much more difficult. You start worrying about the guy you're going to face next, and you got to worry about the guy you're facing now.
And a hard line drive his first time up. That was right to second base. Weak one, up into the air, and Soretti goes up and makes the snag to retire Butler for the third out, but not before. Some runs on the board for NC State. Vitamin Sheik, the grand slam to lead the way for the Wolfpack. It's 6-0. On ACC Network Extra, bottom of the second inning, Brett Centracchio lead things off for the Tar Heels, who have dug themselves quite the hole. Let me rephrase that to say the Wolfpack bats have dug it for them. A couple of home runs, including a grand slam for NC State to generate this kind of lead, 6-0.
Well, and when we talked to Coach Avent earlier on a call, we talked about how much the offense can take pressure off the pitching, and they've come out and been able to do that, to where the pitchers should be able to relax a little bit and hit their spots. I mean, Reed Johnston hasn't been a problem all year, so he's done the job all year. But I think for the other guys in the bullpen, they got to be feeling pretty good about having a little cushion.
0-2 now to Centracchio. Tresh set up outside. That's where he got it. Centracchio lays off. And look, don't say we didn't warn you about this NC State team, right? Was it not the very top of the show? We said they're not going to play like a 1-8 ACC ball club. And given the shift there, that was Torres all the way over at second, the shortstop, getting the out for NC State. I mean, look at this start for the Wolfpack. 1-8 in conference play, but there's context to it, right? They've missed games due to COVID. They had the series at Duke that was just wiped out completely. And that's their 3 ACC series so far. Georgia Tech, Louisville, who I believe are as good as anybody in the country. And then Miami, who's got a ton of talent, a lot of future pros. Absolutely. On that Hurricanes team. I mean, they knocked off a #1 Florida team in a series to open up their season. I mean, they're good.
Yeah, it's one of those where there used to be some series that you felt like were not lay-down series, but you were going to pull 2 out of 3 against these teams. And it's not really there anymore. But NC State losing against those guys is just not. You would think they would have picked up a couple more games, but I think they would tell you if they pitched a little bit better, they would have picked up a couple games. The drop-off is just not there anymore. There's a lot of ACC baseball talent out there. There's not 1 or 2 teams that are picking up all the guys. It's across the board now.
Tyler Causey is the designated hitter, a 3-1 count now. You saw NC State remained in the shift for Causey here. So Jose Torres, the shortstop, all the way on the opposite side of the bag. There's ball 4.
Pretty good pitch right there.
Yeah, Heels with a runner on. Good eye by Causey. And to your point, Paul, I mean, there's no such thing as a slouch weekend in the ACC this year.
Like I said, you used to feel like there was some series, if you were trying to look forward, that you could pick up some wins. And I mean, Clemson was one of the bottom team. I mean,
The only team that hasn't been ranked to this point in the D1 baseball poll, and that's crazy considering the perennial power that they've traditionally been, as Clemente Inklin pops up into the infield to JT Jarrett at second base.
And that just tells you how important it is to get a good start. Carolina's had that better start. Just allows everybody to play a little bit more relaxed. Stay aggressive. Start thinking about what you can do, not what you can't.
There's Johnny Castagnazzi, batter for North Carolina. He's been big as a freshman for them. A couple of home runs so far this season. Well hit ball into the air, didn't quite get all of it. Here comes Devontae Brown from right, but Jarrett waves him off and makes the grab. And that's out number 3 for North Carolina, still scoreless and down 6 here at the Bosh. Hill, 6, 7, 8 batters. 5, 6, 7 rather than 8 for NC State as Jose Torres squares in, fights one back foul off of or from Austin Love.
There's that high fastball. That perfect height where it's just tough to lay off. He threw some nice breaking balls to actually just get out of the inning. NC State was really crushing anything that got over the plate that was looking pretty good was ripped. Even his breaking balls.
Well, you saw there on the graphic that we flashed, only 1 home run given up entering today. That one, a nasty breaking ball, gets away from Torres, a swing and a miss for strike 3. But let's see if Austin Love can manage maybe a goose egg.
Yeah, and I'm not used to seeing that much of this right here. That's a breaking ball, pretty much like a 12-6, a bigger breaking ball. Gets a swing and miss, and I'm really used to the strikeouts coming off the changeup.
Now it's the designated hitter Terrell Tatum. And again, at this point in the day, Love is just trying to manage an inning successfully. Not that the first was so detrimental. You just had the solo shot hit by Tyler McDonough, just the 1 run. But if you're North Carolina defensively, you'd like to see a 0 on the scoreboard for this top of the 3rd.
Oh, no question. North Carolina's got to find a way to put a crooked number, you know, get some runners on, do something, get back in this game. But NC State, with the track record they've had this year, can't be feeling great. They're going to be putting Nicole on the old Reed Johnson choo-choo train right there as long as they can.
That one dips right underneath the bat of Terrell Tatum. Another breaking ball successfully executed for the strikeout. And Austin Love now with 3 Ks.
Look at where this starts. It looks like that high fastball that's going to come in, and then it just drops all the way. That's called the palm up for the catcher, and really hard to lay off that pitch.
First pitch swinging, Devontae Brown skies it and just making its way out of play.
I know Austin hasn't had the best results today, but you can already see the breaking ball. He's incorporating that into his everyday mix. As a reliever, he was really more fastball changeup, and it's nice to see him to have the ability to go ahead and go to that breaking ball when he needs to. A couple really nice strikeouts right there.
Those were his first strikeouts since he got Austin Murr swinging as the very first batter of the game. There's another miss. 2-1 the count to Devontae Brown.
That was pretty close.
Top shelf with another fastball there. 3-1. Brown walked his only time up so far, just in the last frame. Big cut. Pushes it out of play.
But Austin was able to get that fastball down and away. And when he got in trouble, it was really center cut pitches. Some breaking balls, some guys hit their way on. He didn't fill the bases up with walks.
Full count pitch misses just outside. And Brown takes for another walk, his second of the day. Another close pitch, tough to lay off for Brown.
Yeah, the breaking ball earlier in the at bat, I thought could have been called a strike. That pitch, a little bit off the plate.
Bounces one in to avoid him in Sheik. One for one, grand slam.
That'll help your stats out in one swing, won't it?
Efficient so far is the word I would use. About as well as you can at the plate. A little bit of luck involved. You end up with bases loaded.
Well, to be fair, he laid off the nastiest changeup I've seen today.
Yeah, right.
It was
on the first pitch he saw.
Yeah,
yep.
He laid off an absolute filthy changeup. I would still be swinging, and then got the fastball down the middle and did damage with it. And hats off to him for being able to not be 0-1 and hurting your back on the swing on the changeup.
He put a big swing on that home run ball. Now with a hitter's count, hacks it another, sends it out of play.
Yeah, you think about that McDonough home run, and as I said then, it's a one run. So it's not that big a problem, but boy, Menchik, when he put that one out, that was a problem.
That one's hard hit on the ground. Diving stop by Inclin at third. And Centracchio unable to dig up the throw. So Menchik is safe at first. And there Devontae Brown advances to third.
Looked like a really nice play over there. Yeah, fully outstretched to get it. Throw just a tough spot to get that pick. The other impressive thing to me right there is the fact Austin Love is sweeping around to back that up.
This is an important set of batters faced for Austin Love, right? I mean, he wants to get out of here having given up 0 runs, and he would have had it there. That one, first pitch strike to JT Jarrett.
That breaking ball is just really late. Hard for the guys to react. Well, and he's been throwing those breaking balls to where they're dipping out of the zone instead of being hittable pitches. And he's getting the swing so far.
The 0-1 to Jarrett. Another half-hearted swing. And there's that breaking ball again. It's unbelievable. You see Menchik advances to second base there.
You could see the pain on Frick at home plate. He wanted to throw that so bad. I know he's got a good arm. You could just see it on his face. He just,
He's a competitor defensively. It's something we learned from Coach Forbes.
Good pitch.
Blocks another one there in the dirt. I mean, you got to respect the job that Frick is doing behind the plate, especially now that, his Love is working his way through this troubled start. He's figuring out the breaking ball's working today. So collateral damage, Frick, you got your work cut out for you. There's the 1-2. High chopper. Ready in stride, one hop, and that one is in and out of the glove of Centracchio. NC State puts another run across on consecutive errors.
Way to do it.
Yep. And Carolina's strong defense has struggled a little bit and extending these innings. That's two plays that should have been made.
The first one, Menchik reached on a throwing error by Inclin at third after what was a great diving stop.
If that's back-to-back where just the throws were a little off.
Now runners on the corners again, but back to the top of the order for NC State.
And these are the at-bats that are so hard on the pitcher, because you know you did enough pitching to get out of this inning and put that 0 up, but your defense didn't back you up. But at the same time, you got to turn around and pick them up.
Murr goes the other direction with it. That is down the line, but is foul.
Right into the trenches.
I think he knew off the bat there. You didn't see him really take off with any kind of pep in his step. He didn't seem too phased in the trenches.
No. Well, you got to figure Austin's pitched pretty well all year.
Murr slaps it down onto the ground. Castagnazzi makes the grab behind his body and successfully tosses it to first. But NC State with another run on the board, 7-0. Good start for the Wolfpack. The third for NC State. But here's another look at the Tyler McDonough solo shot in the top of the first inning that got the scoring begun for the Wolfpack. And how about Voitem and Sheik, a mammo, as we call them, Paul, of a grand slam.
Yeah, both guys blasted centered up on a couple balls from Austin Love, and North Carolina's best starters having a tough one right now.
And again, as previously stated, NC State, a very good offensive team. Now, a lot of that home runs per game mark you can attribute to Luka Tresh, because he was hitting over 1 per game through their first stretch of games. But no slouch, and this has been the bugaboo for NC State so far. Can they hang on to leads, because they have scored runs all season long, and Reed Johnston so far so good, off to a good start in his first start.
Yeah, he's just a little bit hard to pick up. He's got a nice loose arm, closes his body off nice, and the ball just kind of jumps on the hitters. Hard to get squared up. But he's done the job all year, even amidst a lot of losses. So he's been getting it done when it's been tough.
This is outside there to Angel Zarate, as North Carolina back to the top of the order. So this is the second time through for Johnston. We'll see how the Tar Heels see it out of his hand.
Well, the other part of Reed is he's got 3 quality pitches. I mean, he can throw a changeup, a breaking ball, and he's got the fastball that he locates well. And he usually pitches to contact. So if he gets it going just like that, I mean, that's a good breaking ball, and he meant to backdoor it.
Got Zarate out ahead of it.
You can see right here, catcher sets up outside. That's right on the outside black. That's a great pitch. And with a 7-run cushion.
Just his first strikeout of the day, too, though. So he's been effective without the strikeout. That bunt pushed by Thompson, and he was at first base before there was even somebody there to field it. Sheik didn't even have a hold of the baseball before Thompson was safe.
Just seemed like it shocked everybody. But his strides, look at his strides. It's like he's there. Yeah. I mean, he was next to the bag before they picked up the ball. That's tough, though. What are you going to do?
Well, and
let's play in on him. Let's play in on him.
No, right. I mean, Paul, I started to even say, and I stopped myself, he caught NC State's defense sleeping. But, I mean, I don't know that that's even the case. It's not like you should have been playing up expecting the bunt, because the guy can hit it to all fields.
Yeah, he could scald you.
Now Caleb Roberts, the batter. You saw the shift applied against him.
Yeah, that was interesting right there. He tried to do what was given to him. He tried to bunt it down the third baseline and take the easy first and second with 1 out. But it's tough.
Oh, 0-1, drops right in.
Makes you wonder if Justice is going to try to take second. You got a 7-run lead, but it's so early in the game.
Throw over to Thompson. Roberts sends it foul, so he'll stay alive with an 0-2.
And you can see Johnson a little upset. Wasn't happy with where that pitch ended up, even though I don't think it was that bad a spot.
Seemed like it got Roberts in a tough spot, right?
Well, it got in on him. And it's one of those where anytime you get in on a guy and they foul it off that way, it really does set up a lot of pitches. You can go change up away, fastball away. It was softer too.
Another 0-2, ripped by Roberts, but there's JT Jarrett to make the play at second base. And Murr sprinting to the middle of the infield just to make sure Justice Thompson stays where he's at. Don't want to give him any daylight because he's likely to take off, and if he does, he's then likely to advance.
Right. And if you're playing first base, you may not have the best arm, so let's just shorten up that throw.
Makes all the sense in the world what he does. Johnston misses with the first pitch to Danny Soretti, who's 0 for 1.
With a bullet in the gap to get caught.
Yeah, it's been that kind of start for North Carolina. They had a couple of balls hit out to the outfield. Hard grounder up the middle, gets through for a single. And Thompson makes it up easy at the plate for the first North Carolina run.
We'll see how this affects North Carolina right now. Soretti with a nice piece of hitting. Doesn't try to do too much here, just drives the ball right back up the middle. And with Justice at second base, able to score fairly easily with his speed. I think with a normal guy, there's a play there, and not with Justice.
And now Tomas Frick, a couple outs and a runner on.
That was the opposite of a nice, easy, make contact swing. That was a I'm going to hit it over the net kind of swing.
Well, he had the home run against ECU on Tuesday. First of his career. He's got gap-to-gap power. Handful of doubles on the season as he takes that one to the opposite field. Brown tracking it down, and it spins foul.
Yeah, he stays on that nice. That breaking ball he swung at, he really jumped at and fouled off, and then that one, a good fastball, up and away a little bit, stayed right on it. Just couldn't keep it fair. But Reed basically in a spot where probably one good breaking ball, and he's out of this inning with a run.
Left that one high.
Don't think that's what he was looking to do right there. He's sitting there shaking his head right now.
All right, 0-2, take 2 for Reed Johnston.
Yeah, we talked to Coach Forbes a little bit about the team being a little more loose, a little more willing to go ahead and take some big hacks at some pitches.
Frick had to hold himself back and lay off of that one.
You know, there's always going to be a little bit different styles between Coach Fox and Coach Forbes. Coach Fox so effective with that pushing into longer counts.
Here's a high drive by Frick. It runs out of steam up in the airstream. Johnny Butler makes the grab for the third and final out. UNC on the board. They're within 6. football fans. That's Dre Bly, Lonnie Galloway of UNC's football coaching staff. And that young man right there, Drake May, younger brother of basketball star for the Tar Heels, Luke May. He's a quarterback commit, set to join the Tar Heels their next season of play.
Luke was down here a lot watching games.
Seems like Drake might be the same type of guy. Might enjoy himself a day at the Bosh in his time ahead with the Tar Heels as Austin Love gets things started for UNC. They gotta run. So now they're within 6, and we'll see how Love responds to having a little bit of run support, although it's tough to call it support when the other team's got 7.
It's really just more about kind of the mindset, being able to put that 0 up after the other. You know, your team scores, and then you put a 0 up, and then the guys, they get more loose. They feel like they can chip away and try to get back in this. You know, NC State's bullpen has been a little bit suspect this year, so.
That one punched through on the right side, and Tyler McDonough now, including the home run to get things started. Oh,
that was
get back
close
at first, but it's his 3rd hit of the day. He's 3 for 3.
Yeah, throw right on the mark. I think he's out. Caleb's got a great arm.
Also did time at the catcher position for UNC when he first joined the Tar Heels. And here's another look at it. McDonough had eyes out there the whole time. So,
and still about got nailed. That tells you how good Caleb's arm is.
A runner on for Luca Tresh. Team's leader in home runs, 7 on the season. That's that one the other way, and it's down in front of Roberts. McDonough up easy at 3rd base, and they're on the corners for the Wolfpack.
1st and 3rd, nobody out. And Austin's 75, 78 pitches.
70.
The trenches may end up getting activated fairly soon. Well, looks like
some action in the bullpen for North Carolina. That's Connor Olio. Johnny Butler hacks it 95 miles per hour, sends it out of play. Butler's 0 for 2, but hard line drives to each side of the middle infield. One right to second, one right to shortstop. I shouldn't say right to shortstop. That was that play that Danny Soretti really climbed the ladder, went up there and got it.
Yeah, you talked about it earlier. I mean, just having those solid guys in the lineup that are putting the ball in play, hitting the ball hard. And right now, if you're Johnny Butler, you're doing everything you can to try to get that next run over the plate. You just don't know how this game's going to go. You and I know very well this could turn quickly into a 12-11, 10-12.
Butler sends it out to center field. Thompson there. Didn't have to move much to make the grab. And the sacrifice fly achieved for NC State. 8-1 now their lead.
Yeah, great job by Butler to get that run in. Yeah, Austin's just struggling to get that clean inning under his belt and getting that nice, confident rhythm.
First pitch to Jose Torres down in the dirt. Frick keeps it in front.
Yeah, he's done a nice job of digging some of these balls out.
Torres lays off of another. Now 2-0. Up in the zone. He sends it back.
Yeah, pretty good swing at that ball. That ball's a little bit up and away. I think Austin got away with one right there.
Oh, how about that? He got Tomas Frick.
A little wake-up call.
Right on the dome in the backswing there.
I know I would get a little yippy after the next swing.
2-1 misses high. Top shelf, another swing by Torres. He's really going after those. They're high zone or up just above the strike zone.
It's right in that sweet spot where you get the swings, and it's really hard to get on top of.
Now the full count pitch. We'll wait.
Yet again, he does a nice job of doing maybe a 4 count, pick the first. Mixing those times up makes a big deal. Just keeps that base runner off a little bit from being able to get a good jump on you.
And on the hands. Torres fights it off. Another full count pitch on the way.
Yeah, the Wolfpack really making Austin love work to get his outs. Just extending the at-bats a little bit.
Baited him up in the zone again.
Yeah. That was more of a hanging slider right there.
Another foul ball.
Yeah. Looked like he took a little off that. It's already been kind of a tough outing, and then you got to tip your hat to Torres. He's having a great at-bat right here.
On the 9th pitch, a hard grounder over to third. Inkling, they get the first and the second on the double play. Well executed by North Carolina to get out of the side here in the top of the 4th inning. It's 8-1 NC State. But how about this defensive play? Making up for a couple of errors earlier, Paul. 5-4-3. ACC Network Extra, 8-1 NC State's lead. Here's how we got there. Bookman-Cheek, most notably the grand slam home run back in the 2nd inning. Tyler McDonough, a solo shot in the 1st.
Yeah.
And a rough outing for Austin Love so far, who has been relatively flawless all season long to this point.
And not a lot of walks. It's been mostly NC State hitting the baseball.
Brett Centracchio, Tar Heels first baseman, first batter. Launches the first pitch, 0-1.
Yeah, you got to give credit to Reed Johnson. He's navigated his way through a couple innings that could have blown up on him. Kept North Carolina at bay.
That one lined by Centracchio out to center field. McDonough runs it down and makes the grab.
McDonough's having a day.
He's made
3.
Made a couple of those plays.
Pants are all dirty, uniforms dirty. Getting some plays. Got the home run, stared it down, got to watch it, you know. Got the team going.
Designated hitter, the freshman, Tyler Causey, now the batter. Walked his first time up.
And if you're looking at anything with Reed Johnson, look at the pitch count. I mean, he's only at 44 right now.
Enforcing swings and misses like that still.
Well, he's been able to mix all 3 in. if I had to point to anything right now as a differential, it's just the ability to kind of work the off speed in and have it be effective.
Tresh set blowing away. That's where he got it on the black for strike 2.
But he's starting to get some of these calls because he's around the plate all the time. Other than when he came up and smoked Caleb.
Weak chopper. Over to Murr at first. Closer than I think he thought it was going to be. And plenty of time to record the out. So now comes Clemeny Inklin. Big hack on the first pitch.
Yeah, and Reed sits kind of in that 90 to 93, 94. Mainly pitches in that kind of 92, 93, but I think it plays a little faster than that. I'm just not seeing that many guys square them up. It's not that they're not hitting the ball, it's just they're having trouble driving it. Good change.
Inklin on top of it for strike 2.
Yeah, he's doing such a nice job of just keeping everybody a little off. Playing back and forth with that change up, being able to break the ball. Get those strikes when he needs them. But like you said, he's not getting a lot of strikeouts.
Just one so far on the day. He bounces that one into the chest of Tresh.
And sometimes that's a really good thing for the defense. You know you're going to get action, so you're always ready.
Two and two, misses low.
Rear back on that a little bit. Got a 94 up there.
Full count. In on the hands, but somehow Inklin holds off on the swing and takes ball 4.
Yeah, that one was pretty close. Looked like he got a call early in the at-bat, and then he didn't get the call when he'd rather trade it out.
And now he'll see Johnny Castagnazzi again. The 9-hole batter for the Tar Heels. Catches the outside corner there. How about that framing job by Tresh back there? That's something. It was former big league pitcher. You like to see that.
You can appreciate that for sure. It's quick too, which I really like. You're not trying to show anybody up, but you get it framed quick and then toss it back. I think the umpire appreciates that. And definitely as a pitcher, you like it when you catch it on the way back towards the strike zone. Good pitch.
Castagnazzi puts the bat on the ball. Weak grounder to Torres at short. Handles it well to retire the side for NC State. Still 8-1, the Wolfpack's lead here on Friday.
Doesn't get any better than this. You're in for a special treat tonight.
Let's have some fun, everybody.
Coming down to 9 innings, you leave it all on the field. You lose, you go home. You win, you go to Omaha.
Man, it's been a fun season so far already in the ACC. Plenty of contenders trying to make their way to Omaha and make it to the College World Series as you have a look at the top 25 according to D1 Baseball. Need 7 teams in the conference. All but one in the ACC has been ranked in this poll already this season. So there's been a lot of fluctuation, teams in and out, working their way up as you see Louisville and Georgia Tech right there at 7 and 11. This North Carolina team recently added to that top 25.
Looks like we got a new pitcher in Connor Olio.
Yeah, he was the one warming up earlier, the freshman.
Connor's 90 to 92. He's got a good breaking ball, a changeup. Usually commands the zone very well. He's a guy that North Carolina's been able to count on, get them through some tough innings and cover. Right now, they need him to go out and put a 0 up. Still early in the game. You're here in the 5th inning, and if you can put a 0 up, you just don't know what's going to happen. Reed Johnson doing such a nice job for NC State.
Olio's first pitch. This is inside to Terrell Tatum, and I should clarify, Paul. Olio, not a true freshman. He's a freshman on the roster because they all get a COVID year. He's a second-year freshman, which plays a little bit different, right? I mean, I'm sure you could attest. You were a much more experienced, more poised college athlete in year 2 than you would have been year 1, right?
I don't know if I was ever poised.
More poised, right?
Yes, more poised.
It's not a binary scale. It's not
You're
poised or not poised. It's somewhere in between always.
No, there's a lot of knowledge and confidence that comes from being in those tough spots, getting it done sometimes, not getting it done, having some failure, dealing with it, and then coming back and seeing what you can do for your team. Not the start you wanted with the leadoff walk.
Well, that's I was going to say, this is the perfect opportunity to not get it done and then bounce back for a second-year freshman in Olio. The 4-pitch walk to Tatum puts a runner at first for Devontae Brown.
And the other thing, we talk about how great these teams are across the ACC. Well, think about how tough it is if you're one of these pitchers for one of these teams or a hitter, and you're trying to get time, you're trying to get innings, it's tough. I mean, there's a lot of guys trying to get that uniform on, be out there on that spot, be able to play on Friday night.
And there are a lot of factors that have led to deeper rosters for all these teams, too. As you see there, Tatum back before the throw. For instance, there are some freshmen on college rosters, and North Carolina's got a couple of them for sure, that would otherwise be playing professional baseball, perhaps, if not for the shortened draft. On the other side of that, there were seniors in college baseball a year ago, not drafted because of the shortened draft, but they got the extra year of eligibility, and they're a 5th, in some cases, 6th-year player. So good players are either new to the team because of no draft, or they're staying with the team because of no draft.
You're going to have to stop. It's starting to hurt my head. Sorry. Just absolutely true. COVID freshman, 5th-year senior. What?
There's a lot going on.
What's going on? Yeah. Who's coming back? Who's not? Can't imagine if you're the coach. You just got to get the whiteboards out and get it all down and have somebody explain it.
So now 6 pitches, all of them balls for Olio to start as he'll get a visit and immediately yanked. Was not throwing strikes. It looks like Gage Gillian will come in to pitch for UNC. As we've been told, Scott Forbes, if it's not going, he's quick to yank you. If it's not your day, it's not your day. It'll be Gage Gillian on the other side here in the top of the 5th for the Tar Heels. Quick pull on the mound. And it'll be Gage Gillian, and that's, again, in talking to Coach Scott Forbes in his first season, really no tolerance, but he feels his pitching staff is deep enough to be able to do that, Paul, right? If somebody comes out and they're just not throwing strikes, it's just not their day, okay, we gave it a shot.
That's very true, and you've got Scott Forbes and Elliott Avent, both of those guys have quick triggers if they're not feeling it. And this is a perfect example, but opportunity knocks. Gage Gillian gets to get out here and face NC State, and it's exactly the kind of situation that you really like to come into as a young kid. You can come in, you get some outs, you get the team back in, they score some runs, and then you could turn out to be a hero right here. And really, there's not a ton of pressure. You're so far behind right now that it's not like you're in a 1-1 game and you feel like you can't mess up. Although after a 6-pitch pull,
you feel like you might not have a long leash here. This is outside and low to Devontae Brown, so 3-1 now his count. Gage Gillian, by the way, another one of those JUCO transfers, comes from Walters State, which is a perennial JUCO powerhouse. I mean, 9-time participant in the JUCO World Series, national championship back in 2006. So a program that is JUCO and in terms of the college baseball hierarchy, for certain below the ACC, but a lot of pedigree coming from there. As that bouncer to short, fielded by Soretti, and they get the lead runner in Terrell Tatum.
Yeah, and great job by Gillian to throw strikes. He's got but he's got a nice little herky-jerky motion. Able to get the ground ball. It looked like it might have been a good chance at a double play.
Oh, so there we go. Terrell Tatum, I was wondering what had happened there, but it looked like
Terrell was,
Tatum got a knee in the ear hole there.
But didn't get the double play. Yeah.
Wickman Sheik watches the breaking ball sail high.
Yeah, Menchik from the Czech Republic. He's one of the guys with purpose-driven baseball. They've been able to get some guys over to NC State. That was another good pitch. He's had the best takes.
I'll defer to you, right? I mean, it looks like just a low pitch taken to me, but to your eye, you say it's incredible. I'll take your word for it.
It just looks so good to hit for so long.
Powered in by Gillian. Fastball called strike. And granted, I say that, Paul, understanding that if I was in Menchik's shoes, I would see it differently. I would look like a fool.
You'd swing? You'd swing?
Absolutely.
All right.
Laced shot and just fouled down the line. And Sheik really turned on that one in a hurry.
He's just not missing. It's like he's working the counts and getting his pitch, and then he's driving the ball. That one he just pulled a little bit foul, but be interesting to see what Gillian comes back with right here. He threw that breaking ball that he laid off earlier, but I don't think Menchik has seen that kind of a pitch and laid off it with 2 strikes.
Here's the 2-2. Breaking ball in on his hands. Weak dribbler to Soretti. This time a cleaner look at the double play, and they execute it to retire this side and retire Menchik in the top of the 5th inning. Still 8-1. Wolfpack with the 7-run lead following the double play. Talked a little bit earlier about the top 25 rankings for the ACC. It's looked different from week to week. You saw the preseason rankings there. 8 teams ranked in the top 25 in week 1. Week 2 gets here, a couple of them knocked out. Week 3, Georgia Tech had been impressive to that point. They and Miami in the top 10. Still sort of in that area, Miami and Georgia Tech. And now here we are in week 5, and North Carolina, the Tar Heels, into the top 25 at number 24.
It's like a bunch of colored dice that you're rolling each time, and look how they fall. Talent pool's pretty strong.
It is. It is. And I mean, it's been one of those. there was a short on-ramp for ACC teams into this season anyway, right? They moved up the start of the conference slate. And now they're just having to face each other and bang each other up, which is, I think, probably going to do a number on their resumes come tournament selection time. As Zarate rounds out to second base to lead things off for North Carolina.
That's a very difficult thing to go over, just like NC State not playing Duke. It's just difficult to figure out how they're going to put all that together in a fair manner when COVID can take it over.
Angel Zarate looks a bit hobbled following trying to run that one out. We'll see. Oh, just a little hitch.
Yeah, not
after
sure.
He got through first. He's now 0 for 3, riding that streak, 39 consecutive games having reached base.
See, that's the hard thing in the position we're in right now, because you're not supposed to talk about streaks. It's just one of those things, and we're doing it, and we do it a lot, and it's tough. If I was the player, it would be very difficult. I'd be like, shh, let me try to get through another game. Get on base one more time.
He's just a couple off of a North Carolina record. So it is noteworthy what he's doing.
Yeah, it's definitely something we have to talk about. It's just hard.
Justice Thompson sends it the other way and out of play.
It's that superstitious side.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how superstitious were you as a player? Swing and a miss for Thompson, and that's strike 3 and a quick 2 outs.
You got to give Reed a lot of credit right there. That was really nice.
Here's another look, and then I'll get you to answer my question.
I might avoid it. Nice, almost like a cutter right there. That ball definitely ran away. Cutter, slider, started on the outside corner. You knew it had to be a good pitch. That's almost the same pitch that Justice was able to drive into the outfield for a base hit earlier, but he just got it far enough away. He's feeling his stuff right now.
The second strikeout of the night as Roberts watches outside. All right, scale from 1 to 10.
And I was just going to say, I was way superstitious.
What would have been the craziest thing you would have done for sake of superstition?
Oh. Well, I mean, there's just the standards. You just had to do everything the same. You get to be a creature of routine, of habit. And you just don't want to mess with that. So you're not stepping on the lines on the field. You got to stretch at the same time.
Anything absurd like same pair of underwear?
Okay.
Roberts hits against the shift. Had a big gap over there on the left side and plates the single.
So, yeah, you can see this. This drives it the other way. He was going to bunt earlier. I think his last at bat, he tried to bunt it over there, and then he just went ahead and drove it over there. Just beat the shift. I always usually put a little check mark, see when the shift gets beat or when it doesn't. But Jim Thome made Team Thome shirts for the team.
Okay.
And I got one of those shirts and put it on and had a few good outings. It kind of stacked, and basically I wore that shirt every game until it was in tatters, and I had the guys actually sew it onto another shirt so I could continue to wear that shirt because there were so many outs in that.
There's another out as Torres tags the runner Roberts. Ball bounced before it got to the plate, but Luca Tresh heads up, makes the play. We are through 5 innings in Chapel Hill, and NC State looking to get this Friday win.
So
would be a great start trying to win their first ACC series of the season as Gage Gillian remains on the bump for North Carolina.
Who came in with a 2-0 count, was able to get that guy, get get 2 key outs and get Carolina back in. He looked really good.
Face the 9-1-2 batters. Beginning with JT Jarrett. Breaking ball. Drops right into the zone.
That's a hammer. Big overhand breaking ball. I guess he's got good pedigree.
He does. No, that's a good point. Charles Gillian, his father, played in the Twins organization, pitched at Virginia Tech, and owns their all-time saves record, as a matter of fact. His mother ran track for the Hokies. Athletic bloodlines.
Yeah, tough to come home to, huh?
Probably a tough crowd, right?
Would you give up a run?
Well, you walked somebody.
Yeah, exactly.
Another breaking ball that loops in. Slow dribble over to Soretti, and it bounces past for another NC State batter reached base on ground balls to that left side of the infield.
Yep. This looks like the throws from that side of the infield. They've been short. Soretti right on the grass, and it's the one thing you could see right there. That ball, instead of bouncing up normally, it kind of skidded. It's been a humid day. You get a little bit of humidity on that grass, a little wet, and she'll skip on you.
So that one ruled a fielding error by Centracchio, the first baseman. The 2 before that were deemed throwing errors against Inclin and Soretti. So that's 3 errors on the evening for the Tar Heels.
Which is not how they've been playing baseball this year. They've been playing very solid defensively.
Murr with the hitter's count, skies it into foul ground. Centracchio got a beat on it.
Just a great pitch. I mean, that fastball's just boring in. You're in a 2-0 count. You're feeling good, and you just get a great herky-jerky fastball blown right on your hands, and hard to lay off. It looks good. I don't think you're getting a very good look at it. I bet you Gillian ends up getting a lot of innings this year.
Tyler McDonough now the batter. He finds the inner half of the plate there. McDonough 3 for 3. Quite the day so far. An emphatic start to it.
Yeah,
home run in the first inning.
Well, don't forget the flip.
Well, that was the true start. Doing some acrobatics during warm-ups.
We'll see if Gillian can solve the McDonough riddle.
One in the dirt. That is a powerful 12-6 curveball.
It is.
Yeah, we haven't quite seen a breaking ball like that today. He brings fastball. Now 3 balls, 1 strike to Tyler McDonough.
He's been seeing the ball pretty well today.
Hard ground ball over to second. Castagnazzi gets the lead runner, and McDonough runs out the double play.
Great job by Gillian again. Able to get in on the hands of McDonough in a hitter's count. That just tells you the guys are not seeing the ball that well off of him. Kind of jumps on you.
We'll see how Luca Tresh sees it. 1 for 3 today.
A lot of times as a hitter, when you're ahead of the count like that, you're looking for the ball away.
That One on top of the strike zone. Tresh fouls it off.
And Gillian's been able to last 2 at bats, even though he ended up behind, bore a fastball inside.
How about that breaking ball's starting point? I mean, it ended up on top of the zone, but that wasn't far from the territory where Tresh likes it, you know, up at the shoulders on the letters.
I was just going to say that's on top of the zone, unless you're pitching.
Right.
If you're pitching, that's
it's there.
What is going on?
Misses high again.
When he misses high, it's like it starts almost over the brick backstop back
Yeah,
there.
well, I mean, initially it looks as if it's just going to sail into the net. Fastball up. And Tresh now with a 2-2.
He's had so much luck with that fastball in, I just don't know. Tresh is pretty quick with his hands. See if he goes for another breaking ball. Maybe the third one's a charm.
2 strikes, 2 outs, wave and a miss. He got Tresh swinging for strike 3 and gets out of the top of the 6th inning. So North Carolina hanging in there, 8-1, NC State lead. Darren Vaught, Paul Shuey back with you here on ACC Network Extra. And there's Elliot Ingram, who was hiding from us. Head coach for NC State. Got to be happy with what his Wolfpack has been able to produce, particularly offensively today. 8-1 their lead, but Reed Johnston has been really good in his first start of the season and remains on the hill.
Yeah, you got to believe with the start they've had to be able to get out to the head start in this this Friday night game to start out this series is it's been an easy watch for him so far. You can sit back and watch Reed Johnston, which historically, you know, he was a Friday starter, so it's not a stretch for him to be here. It is his first start of the year, though. So, yeah, I would look to see if he ends up steady in the rotation.
Danny Soretti to lead things off, sends that one back to the warning track. Devontae Brown camps out underneath and makes the grab.
And Reed sitting there, that's 71 pitches. And I do think they will let him go as far as they can. He's just been really good getting all 3 of his pitches over, using them effectively.
Tomas Frick, first pitch swinging, sends it out of play. And you saw the breakdown of pitches there. 5 thrown for balls, but Paul, you would obviously be a better judge of this than I. I feel like he's using those to his advantage. They're close misses. Maybe not.
He's been able to get
maybe with the exception of that one.
Well, it never fails as soon as you start talking about something. Yeah. But he's been able to get a few calls. You saw the strikeout against Justice. I mean, he was able to move that ball. He threw a very similar pitch that he gave up a hit on to him earlier. Then he just moved it a little further off the plate.
Weak chopper over to Minshik, comes up and makes the play with relative ease for out number 2. So now Brett Centracchio heads up 0 for 2. And remember, on the last side, committed that error, trying to reel in the bouncing throw. He certainly would like to redeem himself and start a 2-out rally for the Heels here.
Nice little backdoor breaking ball. Just you can see he's been able to get into the groove and pitch, and he hasn't fallen out of that. And you can see how hard it was. Austin had a really, I thought, a pretty good first inning, even though McDonough hit the home run. He was aggressive with his fastballs. He was getting out there, but to me, he just wasn't able to get his off speed over the plate at the right times. He's kind of missing down the middle.
Johnston well ahead in another count. Sitting outside, but that was intentional.
Takes a little off.
Fouls it away, so still 1-2.
Just seems like the guys haven't been able to get a really good swing on him yet.
That one lined out to right field, but Brown barely has to move and squeezes it for out number 3. On to the 7th. 7 is the lead for NC State. ACC is all over the ACC network. Go figure. College baseball on the ACC. And coming up tomorrow, Georgia Tech and Duke. Some big games on Saturday and Tuesday. How about Georgia, the Bulldogs, paying visit to the Clemson Tigers? So a new arm on the hill for North Carolina. It'll be Nick James, the lefty, COVID freshman out of Clarksville, Tennessee.
Yeah, UNC using this time to try to get some guys out there. Maybe take a look. I mean, Gage Gillian, I thought looked really, really good. I was very impressed. Good stuff. Nick James, lefty, says 88 to 90. And anytime you get a lefty that can throw some strikes and with a decent breaking ball, you're in good shape.
And as you mentioned, not a lot of time pitching in game situations so far this year. We haven't had as much of the build up to the season, so maybe, you know, maybe North Carolina looks at this 7-run disparity here and thinks of it as, well, Gage Gillian just gave us a good outing, and he's not maybe someone we would have regularly gone to. Maybe we can get another discovery out of a game like this. And, you know, perhaps James comes out, throws really well, and then boom, all of a sudden our deep pitching staff gets even deeper.
Absolutely. Well, you know, you've got Caden O'Brien sitting down there, and some guys that if the game ends up getting closer, then maybe you move those guys in and get them time. But till it does, you're giving some guys some opportunity and a little bit less stress with a big gap in the score the way it is, and really a good opportunity to go out there and impress.
See a couple more arms going for North Carolina as we enter the 7th inning. That one in on Johnny Butler, Michael O, and Chris Joyner, the two getting loose for the Tar Heels. So as we saw a bit earlier, perhaps the idea also with James, if it's just not his day, he could come out after 6 pitches, as we saw another pitcher do earlier.
Yeah, it's always a little different when you come in. I mean, Gage did a nice job when he came in a 2-0 count and was able to get the out.
Here's the 2-0 to Butler. He lays off 3-0.
Well, and they had mentioned that Nick had struggled a little bit with his command. But so much of it is it's that first pitch when you come out of the bullpen. You just got to come out and try to get ahead. It's a good fastball right there. Yeah, the two things out of the bullpen, you got to be able to throw a breaking ball for a strike. And really you just got to be able to come in and set the tone and stay aggressive, no matter if the bases are loaded or not.
Butler fouls it away, and looky there, a full count through 5 pitches. Butler's hit the ball really well today. A couple of line drives that were snagged in the middle infield. That sacrifice fly his last time up. Lays off low, ball 4.
And if you're NC State, you're up 8-1, but you can't. I know you feel pretty comfortable because Reed Johnson's still pitching for you, but you can't feel super comfortable until the last out's recorded. So the more they can tack on, the better they're going to feel.
It's the 5th leadoff batter in 7 frames to reach for NC State. Torres squares, pops up the bunt attempt. And a sliding grab. What a play by Tomas Frick back there.
That's an athletic play right there. I mean, he takes off right away. He knows he's got an opportunity to get it out.
Yeah, forgive me, that's Eric Grintz who just entered in place of Frick.
That's an awesome play.
Dugout approaching. I mean, you got the warning track, but that only helps so much, Paul.
Well,
and he just entered the game.
Right. You know, that's what you wake up to. You basically come in and get that play. If I'm Nick James, I'm going over and give him a quick hug, you know, thanks. Because then you get that first out. The first out's so important. Once you get it, then it seems like anything's possible. But until you get it, that one's tough.
What's it look like? He's adjusting his earpiece there.
Yeah.
IFB, yeah.
Which is, I'm all for the earpieces because it speeds the game up a little bit. Pitching coach can just help with the signs.
Terrell Tatum scoots out of the way, 1-0. With the earpiece in mind, it also keeps teams from having their pitchers have the same wristband there with the cards on it, right? Or it helps. In theory, you could have both.
Well, we're watching it right now.
Yeah, James has got one there.
He's getting the sign from Soretti and then from Grintz.
What do you think of that? Because I know for a fact that you as a pitcher back in your time were not managed that same way, right? I mean, a lot of it was your catcher instinctively calling a game as that one gets by Grintz and the runner's able to advance.
I think a lot of it has to do with just the way the game has changed itself. When I was playing, that would have been a little over the top confusing for me. But I also know that with some of the stuff that has gone on, especially at the big league level, and with the specialization of baseball, even at the lower levels, that these kids are just more adept at dealing with this. And they're used to it a little bit more.
Tatum leaves the bat on his shoulder. Now even count at 2-2.
And if there's any advantage to be picked up, you got to try to take it if you can. And you don't want to. You don't want the other team to know it's coming, because it certainly makes the game quite a bit easier.
So a full count now to Terrell Tatum, and you might be hearing a bit of a rise in the Tar Heel crowd cheering on James as he looks to get out of this side. Still just one out though.
Well, Grintz with that great play to get that first out. One of those plays has helped so much as a pitcher.
Weak line drive makes its way out into center field. RBI single Terrell Tatum, and it's 9-1 Wolfpack.
Yep, NC State able to tack on. You can see on that pitch, he gets jammed. Can't get the head to the ball, but kind of insides out that with a swing right there, and that's a perfectly placed ball. You can't put it any more right behind second base than that.
That makes it an 8-run lead for NC State, as we'll see what Scott Forbes has in mind. Paying visit, and it looks like Michael O will enter the game for the Tar Heels. The righty in on the other side for the Heels in the top of the 7th. It's the top of the 7th here in Chapel Hill. Here's a look around the ACC elsewhere tonight. And Paul, the first one that pops out to me, Clemson up 16-12 in the top of the 9th, despite 6 errors on the Tigers.
Yeah, that's kind of staggering, actually, just looking at it. That's one as a pitcher, you're ducking in the tunnel and trying to hide. I need to go to the restroom real quick. I'll be back in a second, that kind of thing.
Couldn't have been you, ever, Paul. Paul Shuey was always champing at the bit to get into a game, as Michael O, I'm sure was, the junior, enters for the Tar Heels here in the top of the 7th inning, and will face Devontae Brown with a runner on first and 1 away.
Yeah, Michael's got a fastball, curveball, cutter, and a changeup. And basically, he's got a high spin rate. It's going to be interesting to see how that fastball looks. Looks like he was throwing pretty good in the bullpen. There's a bunch of guys getting the opportunity to come out, and you know, it's just so cool to be able to get those opportunities and be up against NC State. It's not a weekday game. You got crowd, you know, some crowds finally, and get the adrenaline rolling a little bit and see what happens.
Well, in the case of a player like O, a transfer from Northern Iowa, this is what these opportunities are what you come to the ACC for. First pitch to Devontae Brown, weak grounder over to the right side. Trying on the glove flip, and it's there in time. Castignazzi with the play out of nowhere, was shifted all the way over to second base.
Yeah, I thought it was a base hit straight off the bat because it just came off so soft. If he makes that transfer, he doesn't get that out.
Instead, he did with the glove. You know those plastic toys that with the handle? It's the little plastic scoop, and you've got the ball with it. It was almost like a little highlight, a little Tykes. Well, I don't know what you call that toy, but he just scooped it and shuttled it over to first base. As they're going to have a second look at this one.
I mean, did you think he was out? I thought. Ooh, that's pretty tight.
It's very tight. I think with a better toss out of the glove, it would have been a bit more decisive. But I mean,
I think it's a tie, so I think he's safe.
And the ruling as it stands currently is that the runner was out. I don't know that gives us anything that's indisputably in the other direction.
Oh, that's true. That's true. I don't know. I know it was a heck of a play. And I know if he would have made the transfer, it wouldn't have been that close.
So, and as a reminder, they're not looking at the exact camera angles that we have here. So it's always interesting to see what they see from their perspective, what we see from ours. Certainly a bang-bang play. I mean, that was, either way, safe or out, that's a fun play.
And that was 44 miles per hour off the bat.
Hey, look, I mean.
We talk about the hard balls. I think McDonough's, tie.
Yep, and they've reversed it. So, call overturned, and Devontae Brown on 44 miles per hour off of the bat gets a base hit. Whereas we've seen 100 plus miles per hour off of the bat multiple times.
Right.
Leave the yard for home runs. I mean, there are multiple ways to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. 44. It's a changeup. That's what it is. One that Michael O's not real excited about.
And a great effort from Johnny Castagnazzi just to be close on that play because he was looking to cover second.
Yeah, O has that little bit lower slot. You got Menchik again, he's having a pretty good, well, I guess it's one swing good night.
That's all it took, right? Driving 4 runs.
Well, and change the whole game in one swing.
Also reached on error, rounded out into a double play. O catches the corner.
Nice little two-seam action.
How about this shift? Centracchio all alone on that right side of the infield.
Yeah, Menchik has pretty much pulled everything he swung at.
Pulls that one on the ground. Backhanded stop made, and the glove tag at third base applied by Clementi Inkland. Great play.
Yeah, really strong play right there because he stays with it. So easy to start stabbing at the ball when it doesn't go your way. He does a nice job to stop it and then goes right to it. Puts it in the glove, which is safer than putting it in the hand, and gets that key out.
So now 2 away. Runners at first and second for NC State.
And Michael O looks like a guy who's going to get ground balls. He's got that good two-seam action, that lower slot. So by them putting that shift on, that really fed into the way he basically throws.
JT Jarrett 0 for 3, but that line right there, misleading. He's been the beneficiary of a couple of errors and has reached base twice and nearly puts one down and left for what would have been a base hit there.
Yeah, O got lucky there. Kind of hung that breaking ball very middlish. And that's one thing we've seen from NC State all night. They have hit breaking balls that are more middlish. They've hit it hard.
Two strikes, 2 away. O set.
That's we always called that one the cement mixer.
The cement mixer.
Yeah, because it's like oh no when you let it go because it just spins, but so many times you end up getting a good result from it because it just kind of hangs in there where the hitter can't clear. It's slow. It's like a kind of a sloppy accidental pitch that gets some good results. Michael O has him set up. He's 0-2. He just needs to execute a good quality pitch.
The 0-2, take 2, poked at by Jarrett. That's high in the air out to right field, and Roberts glides in to make the grab, stranding 2 Wolfpack runners. But NC State still ahead by 8. It's stretch time at the Bosch. Seventh inning stretch here at the Bosch in Chapel Hill. NC State with a 9-1 lead on this Friday night. Beautiful night for baseball. Certainly happy to see people in the stands to take part in things like the 7th inning stretch as Reed Johnston enters his 7th inning of work for the Wolfpack on the mound.
7th inning, and that was his 80th pitch.
He's been efficient, to say the least, so far this evening.
Which is exactly what NC State has needed.
Hunter Stokely, the freshman from not too far off Wilson, North Carolina. And the pinch hit for Tyler Causey, who was in the DH spot. 1-1 swung on, sent skyward. In shallow left, foul ground. Jose Torres calls off his teammates, makes the grab.
It was just slow enough to where everybody was going to be there. That's one where you really need somebody to get loud and make sure you don't run into each other.
So now comes Clemente Inclin. 0 for 1 with a walk today. Just 4 hits for the Tar Heels on the night.
Yeah, Reed's been able to spread out those hits. He stayed aggressive. Been able to mix in all 3 of his pitches effectively. He's really looked good. Well, and he's used to being that Friday starter. So I don't think it's that far. It wasn't that big of an ask, I guess you'd say.
Big cut. And a miss for Inclin there, 1-2. Yeah, it's kind of a convenient solution for Elliott Avent. And we've talked briefly about some of the indigestion that he's had to deal with this season. He hasn't had too many conveniently placed solutions, but in the case that Evan Justice has been their workhorse on Fridays so far this season, you want to give him a little bit of rest. Well, hey, we've got Reed sitting in the bullpen. He's given us some long relief appearances and has been really good.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the rest of the weekend plays out. Because you're losing a big part of the bullpen right now, probably the key part that they've had. But if they knew they were going to get this kind of outing prior to, they'd have traded it out every day of the week.
Oh yeah. If you were to have asked Elliott Avent, hey, Reed's going to give you 6+ and hold North Carolina to a run, I think he would have agreed pretty quickly. There's another 2-2. Wow. Drops in, catches the outer corner, called strike 3, and that is the first backwards K I'm writing in my scorebook for either team today, Paul.
Yeah, beautiful pitch right here. He's had that breaking ball, just kind of turns it over, keeps it right on the outside corner. Clemente Inclin can't do anything, but you got to just tip your hat.
Johnston gets him looking for strikeout number 3 today.
That's a tough pitch too, because it's coming almost around the plate to get there, so it looks like it's so far off the plate. And as a hitter, to be able to spoil that pitch is really tough.
Here's Mikey Madej pinch hitting. High chopper over to Jarrett at second, and he runs it out.
Looked like Jarrett just had a little trouble getting it out of his glove. I don't know if it would have mattered even if he'd have got it out clean. The ball was just really chopped up. Hung in the air a good bit.
Bit of a high hop there for Jarrett as well. Had to go up and get it.
Zarate's got another chance.
Angel Zarate riding that streak.
Wow, you said it. I didn't know you were going to say it.
Why wouldn't I say it?
Well,
I've said it 3 other times today.
I know, but I was just, I don't know. Thought you might just,
You said he's getting another chance.
I know, but.
Like, I don't know what.
Yeah, but I wasn't going to point directly at it. I mean, just a little bit different.
1-1, Zarate. It's good to see him in the box because after his last plate appearance, he did look a little hobbled, and he rips that one over to Jarrett at second, who gloves it and makes the play over to first for out number 3. And we'll move on to the 8th inning. 8 runs, the lead for NC State here in Chapel Hill. We're through 7, and here's how things have gotten where they are. 9-1 NC State. With the lead, Reed Johnston has been remarkable on the mound in a year that NC State hasn't gotten a lot of that out of its starting pitching in his first start of the season. Through 7, he's given up just the 1 run on 5 hits, a couple of home runs for NC State, including a grand slam by Vojta Minchik. And now a new pitcher for the Tar Heels. It'll be Chris Joyner, the junior out of Cary, North Carolina. Played at Green Hope High School. Part of a very good team there at Green Hope, including with teammate Jordan Adams, who was a first-round draft pick a couple of years ago to the Los Angeles Angels, looking to eventually at some point this year make his major league debut. So pretty stacked team at the prep level.
And Chris has a 3/4 arm slot, throws in that 88 to 91 range. Gets a lot of ground balls, a little bit of sink to his ball. Kind of an odd arm action. It almost looks like it lays back and a little Bumgardner-esque.
And he rocks it back with the leg kick a little bit. Sends that one up and out for a ball.
Lost the hat.
And we'll see if that's a trend. He's got it's a little bit of a jerky delivery. We'll see if that continues.
Certainly not a motion you'd think a lot of lefties would really like to face.
Just misses low there. So 2-1 the count to Austin Murr. Murr sends it the other way. And out of play, foul. Into the trenches, maybe over the trenches.
A little over the trenches.
That went, yeah.
Trenches have been busy.
Receiving foul balls for sure. Not quite as active as they were on Tuesday in the North Carolina win against East Carolina. Murr hesitant on the 2-2 and just nicks it out of play.
Yeah, Joyner kind of got away with one there. Hangs that breaking ball up and kind of stays out of the zone enough where he didn't get in trouble.
Another 2-2. There it is. The breaking ball catches the upper part of the strike zone. Murr leaves it there and watches strike 3.
Yeah, came right back with it. Kind of hung the breaking ball before, then throws a better breaking ball right down the middle of the plate. But really hard on Murr because that ball starts at you. So hard to stay in there and get a swing out of that ball.
Now a right-handed batter for Joyner to face.
Joyner's having a lot of trouble with that hat.
He caught it on the way down that time,
he's
though,
getting used to
in
it.
the follow-through. What's the solve for that? You just get a tighter hat? I don't.
Yes, that's exactly the solve for it. You solved it. There you go. You got the solution. Put a really tight hat on. Don't worry about the headache. Nice pitch.
Now 2-1 to Tyler McDonough. Fights one off foul. And 2 strikes against him. He's 3 for 4. Reached on a fielder's choice his last time up.
Turned around and hitting right-handed.
Cuts and misses. And consecutive strikeouts for Chris Joyner, 2 away.
Now that changeup was filthy. You know, he's throwing a pretty good fastball. He's got some hop on it, a little bit of sink. Look at that. You cannot tell the difference if you're a hitter between that fastball and that changeup. So you're going to be way out ahead of that. It's still a strike. That's the thing. You look for something like that. When you see a pitch like that, that's something you can throw in the zone for a strike. Still having trouble with the hat.
What do you think? If you're going to lose the hat, you got to hit 90, right?
I don't know. I think I'd put the hat behind the mound and just keep going. You know.
Here's the 0-1 to Luka Tresh. Baits it high. Tresh, the usual suspect, to go after that and sends it foul. Struck out his last time up.
See if he gives that changeup. That is a dirty changeup.
Just nicked. Right back to Joyner. Comes up and gets it. Delivers a strong throw to first and retires the side in order for North Carolina, but still a steep hill to climb. 8 runs, the lead. Network Extra, Darren Vaught, Paul Shuey. And Paul, I guess, sure, some trivial, nonsensical banter here. Today is National Nougat Day. Do you have a preference of any of these?
Where are you?
I mean, Snickers is a solid go-to, but I'll tell you what, Payday is criminally underrated. And I think, give me the king-size Payday over any of these.
Look, the Payday just has too many peanuts. There's no doubt there.
I get it. I get the criticism.
Snickers is pretty much like a granola bar. You know, it's too healthy. I'm going with Baby Ruth or 0.
All right. Our producer, Paul Beam, favors a frozen 0 bar.
That's a lot of specialization. You know, I mean, there's work involved.
It's not a lot of trouble. You got to wait on it, though, to freeze. That's the main thing. If I want a 0 bar, I want it now. Justice Thompson swings and misses. Quick 0-2 against him.
And NC State, for the first time, has actually started to stir a little bit in the bullpen.
Reed Johnston, you see there, ahead in this count in his 8th inning of work. Not quite at 100 pitches.
Getting close. Still looks like he's in very good command of the zone. What a pitch.
Ooh, just off the mark. Called ball 2, and it evens things up.
It's a great take by Justice right there.
Bounces the 2-2, and now a full count.
That's the thing, that take. You know, I keep talking about takes and not swings, but that take puts a lot of pressure on Reed Johnson. He knows what Justice can do. And he tried to make that same slider that he made before. And
swung on and missed. Down to a knee. Justice Thompson goes down hacking.
Look at this. He threw him a slider before, about an 85-mile-an-hour slider to get him out before, and then he dropped a much slower breaking ball with a lot more tilt and just gave him a different look. Reed Johnson's having a night, and at a time when NC State needed him to.
Caleb Roberts puts down the bunt against the shift, and just as he's capable of a home run, he's the team's leader with 5. If you give him some space, well, he'll bunt a single there.
Yeah, you just got to believe, and with the evolution of the game, there's just going to be more and more guys that are brought up to where if you're going to give it to me, then I'm just going to take it. And then, you know, you would just think that would be the next thing to kind of be a common occurrence. And that would kind of right what has gone on and move it back to where everybody's playing a little more straight up.
So Roberts, the runner on first. And now Danny Soretti, who is 1 for 3 today with a run driven in. Now a hitter's count for Soretti. Swung on, sends it to deep left center field. Back to the wall, tracking it. Butler makes the grab and runs into the wall.
What a great catch. That's twice he's gotten Soretti today. Twice. And that one was even better. He was going to crash into that wall. He knew it. He gave up the body to go ahead and make that catch. He's busting it right there. Knows right where the ball is going to be.
Had a rough idea where the wall was going to be.
Well, I mean, the key part of that whole thing is his immediate jump, his first break. He just turned and ran as hard as he could to the spot where he knew the ball was going to be close to. And then he adjusted at the last second and made a great catch. And I guarantee you, Reed Johnston is very appreciative right now.
Eric Grentz now the batter for the first time today after replacing Tomas Frick behind the plate.
Just walks right into 2 filthy breaking balls for strikes. First one down the heart, second one just a little bit maybe off the edge of the plate. But as I said before, Reed Johnson he's keeping making pitches all around the plate, and he's getting those calls that are tight.
Impressive too that he's in inning number 8 and continues to just get well ahead of batters like this. Intentional miss, perhaps outside. The 1-2 swung on, sent in the air, and JT Jarrett glides into foul ground, squeezes it for out number 3, and we move on to inning number 9. NC State looks to add some padding in the top of the frame next. Top of the 9th inning, NC State looking to add on some insurance up big on North Carolina. But for UNC, they're always going to have this on NC State. The goodest boy in all of college baseball, Paul Remington, the bat dog. Who doesn't love that?
How can you not? He's been doing it a while too, huh? We got Kyle Blendinger.
It's Kyle Blendinger. He's a junior athletically. I say that because all of these guys, it's going to be listed athletically because of the COVID redshirt year. But at a high point here in North Carolina.
And I like his stuff. He's got a low slot. You can hear the grunt from here. He's getting after it, but he's got a good 2-seam, a little more slurvish, mixes in a changeup.
Not a lot of opportunities this season, but when we spoke to Scott Forbes earlier in the week, the head coach for North Carolina, he praised Blendinger's presence in the clubhouse and in the bullpen, or the trenches, as they have deemed.
Trenches.
Yes, the trenches.
Yes.
As is told by the horror movie looking sign out there with the red dripping from the letters. And just as it happens pretty regularly in the game of baseball, Johnny Butler makes the great play in the field, leads off the next side.
Yeah, that was one heck of a catch. Just kind of shows you the jump. You know, a lot of people like what makes one outfielder better than another. It's that ability to kind of time out, know when you got to be full effort, that jump.
Between him and Tyler McDonough in center field, those two can cover a lot of ground. So that left center field gap, not much of a gap.
No, you better hit it hard.
Defense.
Pretty good changeup right there.
Blendinger the 2-2 off the mark outside and a full count.
That's the one problem sometimes you run into when you've got that lower slot and you're coming into that left-handed hitter. You know, it works really nicely against righties, but when you saw him, he went a little bit more over the top right there, try to get that 2-seamer away.
This is for ball 4, and in consecutive plate appearances, Johnny Butler walks after having a full count. It's now an NC State leadoff batter on base to begin the inning in 6 of 9 innings so far tonight.
Tough to win.
Big cut from Jose Torres. One for 4 tonight. Singled his first time up, came around to score a run. Since then, a strikeout, a pop-up, and a ground ball into a double play.
Good fastball around the outside corner there. So, Blendinger's nickname is Dinger.
I see no problem with that. I mean, I get it. He's a pitcher.
I get it.
You don't want to give up dingers, home runs.
Yeah, I don't know.
But it's simple.
It is
Last
simple.
name Blendinger. If in any other walk of life, no problem.
Right.
It's no problem.
Right. Golfer, be great.
Going in on Torres. Somehow he just got out of the way of it.
He's got a lot of movement on the baseball.
Torres sends it into the air, shallow center field. Mikey Madej there to make the play. One away and a runner on as the Wolfpack look to add on some insurance. Already up 8.
Without anybody up in the bullpen, not one ball thrown all night. I think if you asked them what they needed.
Slow chopper over to second. Castagnazzi makes the place, and Tracchio kept a foot on the bag to retire Terrell Tatum.
What a great little pick right there. Madej charging that and just made his own hop.
Yeah, it's Madej rather than Castagnazzi.
Nice little scoop. What hands.
A little short hop. A couple of consecutive plays made by Mikey Madej.
Looks good over there.
Runner in scoring position as Devontae Brown left no doubts with what he wanted to do on that swing. Brown lifts it back to left field. Not a problem. Angels Arate camps out. Squeezes it for out number 3, and North Carolina needs 8 in the bottom of the 9th. And NC State with a big lead. Here on a Friday night, Reed Johnston getting things going for the 9th inning as the bunt laid down. Johnston makes the throw across the diamond, and Murr with the stretch at first to retire the first out.
That was a heck of a play. I mean, that bunt was laid down nicely right here. Look at this. Off of the shift. Gets a little too much over there.
And Tracchio bunting, and Wojtamenczyk, the third baseman, making the barehanded play.
He's had a night.
There's Hunter Stokely again. Second plate appearance of the evening. Ooh, lifts that one. Pulled to deep right field. See you later, Hunter Stokely. A solo shot in the bottom of the 9th inning.
Left that up a little bit. Hunter crushed it. North Carolina reminding NC State they're not quite home yet. 2 outs away.
Here's another look at the first career home run for Hunter Stokely, the freshman.
Looks Looks like a changeup that just kind of hung out over the inside part of the plate. Usually if you get that away, down and away, it's probably either a swing and miss or maybe a rolled over ground ball. But you missed with that. And Hunter was able to do some damage.
Now Mac Horvath, the pinch hitter, as North Carolina draws it within 7. Still a long way to go here in the bottom of the 9th.
Nice.
Just one hit on the season. Began the season as it looked like he was going to be North Carolina's starting third baseman. Had some struggles at the plate. There's a ground ball. Torres makes the toss, and now 2 away.
And Reed Johnson just continuously, he's throwing off-speed pitches. He's getting those guys to just stay off it a little bit. Obviously made the mistake to Hunter, comes right back. That's always what I really look for. If you're evaluating talent, you want to see somebody who can give up that home run, come right back, and make good quality pitches to the next guy. He's out there doing it right now.
How about these numbers from UNC's analytics team for Hunter Stokely's home run? 101.2 miles per hour off of the bat. Look at this. It traveled 439 feet.
439.
There's a weak pop-up into shallow left, and Jose Torres makes the grab to retire the side and end the game. NC State gets a big Friday night Game 1 victory, and they win it by 7. The bats were hot tonight, Paul.
Yeah, bats were hot, but Reed Johnson was unbelievable. He's exactly what the Wolfpack needed tonight. He did what he could do, and Wolfpack got that crucial Friday night victory to give them a head start in this series.
They'll play again at 1 tomorrow. So for Paul Shuey, I'm Darren Vaught saying so long from the Boshamer Stadium in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, where the final score is NC State 9, North Carolina 2. Watch the entire game on replay as well as others on our family of ESPN networks on watchespn.com or the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.